What do we got? So Darlene Quick is a maintenance day. No need. I was actually concerned with the whole group just how much time we got out there with the intensity of practice the other day and the game last night. So
How's the vision doing?
no word yet. Again, we're no update, I should say. I think we've planned in our head to give him a few days, and I'll probably ask about it, inquire about it today as the players leave, grab our medical team and see where he's at. Feeling that it could be, the next 3-4 days, I think we're going to potentially hear different positive each and every day to hopefully we break the threshold that we're all comfortable throwing him back in there.
Don, what's helped Dylan Cozens reach that next level of his game when it comes to offense?
Well, you saw the shot last night. I mean, he's improved his skill, and he was skilled already. He took the shot, where maybe he would have walked in and looked a little, felt he needed to get closer or make a move, or and then I think he's just added, size and strength, mass and strength through the off season, as is the case for players his age all the time. And that's translated in a little bit more power. His separation power and strength on pucks is much greater than even a season ago, and that's helped him.
Last season, you put him against really difficult matchups, even as a really young player. Have you seen that pay off in terms of the defensive side of the game this season so far?
Yeah, I mean, he hates losing, and the worst of that is getting scored on, and so I think that when you match him up against other top players, they learn who he is too, because he's ultra competitive, and that's a good thing. So yeah, I think he's progressing. He's still young, so there's so much information he's taking in, every game, every situation, every opponent, buildings, those sorts of things, that he's going to, it's going to be a continual evolution for him. But I love putting him in those situations for those reasons. He's a competitive guy.
Samuelson was in the room. He seems good spirits, seems moving around well. Is he doing well? Have you gotten a recent report on him?
Yeah, I haven't got a recent report on him. The report I got with him, different than Lyubushkin, we're waiting for, maybe inflammation and things in the area to resolve a little bit for mobility, better mobility, I should say, because he did play already with it. With Samuelson, it was more of, okay, we do know definitively, week by week, the progressions with the injury he has. So I don't really, there's no need to get day-by-day reports on Samuelson, so I haven't. I think, in another week or so, I think we're going to start getting more detailed reports on him. It's just more relevant at that point.
I know you said JJ is reaching another level. When I was talking to him, he said the biggest adjustment is the games, just the workload and frequency. How have you seen him start the season on the score sheet consistently, have a little bit of a lull, but be able to work in your system so fluidly? He says he did that in Munich.
I'm not worried about his production. He will produce. He's just ultra talented and knows how to find the back of the net, knows how to make a play. So for him, the more comfortable he gets in chemistry with line mates and team systems and the league itself, familiarity, the level itself, the scoring is just going to be, it's there. It's there at any moment. It wouldn't surprise me tomorrow if he goes out and scores a big goal or more, because he's just an offensively gifted player. So there's no, I guess, rush to it in the sense that I think it's inevitable he's going to get there, and he's doing the things in the process that are helping our team anyway. He's not a liability on the ice. He's, lots of times you take a young player and you try to hide him within the lineup. Lance just mentioned we have him on Cozens' line, and Cozens playing against some of the top players in the league, and I've had no problem keeping JJ on that line, in real challenging situations. So he's doing lots. There's lots of good detail to his game already, but he still hasn't had many games in the NHL, so he's taken in a lot.
He's just so happy to be here. It seems like that shine of being here hasn't worn off. Do you see that in the locker room? What are you noticing?
Yeah,
as a coach?
you know, he has that, as you say, you describe it, shine to him, that happiness. That's him. That's his nature. He was that way in Rochester, and I can tell you what, would rather be in Buffalo, playing in the NHL than in the American League. But that's just the way he is, the way he carries himself. So that's not happy to be in the NHL. That's just JJ, and that's a great attribute to have around a team. Personality like that, fun. He's a lot of fun. The guys enjoy, look forward to seeing him every day. I know that. So yeah, we there's a lot more to him than just a hockey player in that regard.
Hey Don, and I think we lost some material yesterday. We were here, but I'm going to revisit last night's win. Just sorry about that. I know you did
No
this
worries.
last night.
Yeah.
What that was a good win. I mean, if you wrapped it all up in a bowl there last night, what'd you see?
Well, I mean, anytime you win, it's a great thing. When you get through it without an injury, it's a super great thing. So last night's game, I liked the late separation. I thought we played well enough to win or deserve to be ahead a little bit more maybe than we did, and have things be a little bit more comfortable early, but we didn't break through, and that margin that it ended up didn't really happen till late in halfway through the third period. But our guys had to stay on it. I think it was 4-3 at one point. They scored to kind of push, and I loved our response at that point. We obviously pushed our players to go on offense, to think aggressively, not sit back, and they were rewarded for it. So I liked all of that. The perspective of it is it's still early season. We have a long way to go, and the league's just going to keep getting better, and we've got to keep doing it with it.
Tomorrow you have the Penguins coming in. What do you see in Pittsburgh and outside of Malcolm and Crosby and some?
Very experienced, efficient team. So they keep the game simple, and they can exploit mistakes very quick because they're not trying to. They're specifically targeting that. They're just poised and waiting for you to make a mistake. So they recognize mistakes quicker than most teams by virtue of their experience, and they can execute it quicker by virtue of their skill. So the essence of it is they hold teams accountable to details within their game, and we're no different. We've got to pay attention and respect their intuitive, their intuition of the players and skill of their players, and do what we can in that part. Love playing great teams because they make you better, and like I said, they hold you accountable for paying attention to details, and it's what we. It's what you need. Every team in the league needs that. We all need to get better, and we're in the mix with that.
It kind of flew under the radar last night, but Asplund got back into the lineup. Some of the advanced numbers suggesting a very strong game. How do you think?
He seems to always have a strong game. There's not much variance or drop with him. We can put him with anybody. Any line you put him on, the guys are excited to play with him. Much like I just mentioned, Pittsburgh, they have a very acute sense of the details that need to be done and read situations, and Aspie is that way. For a young guy, it's impressive. He has a feel for situations as the puck moves up and down the rink, and what his responsibility is in that situation, and dedication to getting the job done, and that makes him a very consistent player. On the flip side, guys can go out there and try to score a goal every time, and unfortunately you can't read a play when you're trying to force a goal every shift. Aspie he does a very good job of reading plays and adjusting to what the situation dictates, with a great sense of objective. So good to have him back in there, and he does make us better.
What did you see from Peyton
Last
Krebs last night?
We shifted him to center. I like him there much better, although I think time on the wing is good. And more jump, more life, more energy. Very good to see. All these guys are a priority for us. There's not a guy in that lineup that's not a priority. And when you look at the age of them or the limited experience they have at the NHL level, we know the capacity is enormous for these guys, Krebs being one of them. So we looked at it in the last few games and said, how are we going to help them as coaches? How are we going to help Peyton as coaches feel better about his game? And we thought the shift to center would do that, and loved his jump and his energy. It looked like he skated better, made more plays, just more comfortable in that position. So I was very happy with his game.